Well, hello everyone, I'm Danzy, and it's time. Now, if you're new around here, here's how my reviews work. First of all, this is going to have spoilers, obviously. Second, this is a non-linear review, which means it's going to be light on recap. So again, you probably want to actually watch the episode first. Now, unlike most of you on Sunday night, I didn't actually watch the episode live because I was playing Overwatch with my friends. I was at a funeral, conference, wedding. But I have watched it now, and here are my thoughts. So, starting with the stuff that I was pleasantly surprised with, by far the standout part of the episode was Jon and Arya's scene. I think I'm probably in the majority on this one, but it's the only truly satisfying Stark reunion we've had so far, in my opinion. The plot taking time out to address Arya's loss of innocence was, in my opinion, also something that was really long overdue, and I actually think this is one of her best scenes in years. And I liked how they were geeking out over their swords. It felt like a really natural conversation between two siblings that have a really big place in their heart for each other. Man, I wish I had an older brother figure to talk about swords with me. Please, someone talk about swords with me! The only thing I'm gonna take points off for is Jon thinking that Sansa is some kind of nag who thinks she's smarter than everyone. But we're gonna get to that in a bit, don't worry. Also, Arya has had quite a turnaround on her feelings for Sansa, hey? Considering she literally threatened to skin her sister's face last season. But I'll take it because honestly, someone needs to stand up for Sansa right now. Next up is Sam finding out about his family. Uh-oh, is someone facing consequences for burning people willy-nilly? Tastes like delicious tears. But I'm actually going to be joining Daenerys in eating that humble pie because I'm really surprised that they even did this. I even put it on the bingo card as something that they would just totally gloss over. I also thought it was really cute and a very book Sam thing to do that he was asking for a pardon for stealing books. I thought that was adorable. I think this was given the weight it deserved though. Like, Sam had a very complicated relationship with his dad and that's gonna result in an even more complicated sadness. Yeah, I'm happy to eat my words here. I think that was really well done and really well acted by John Bradley. It's gonna be okay though, Sam. Dickon is in a better place. And by that I mean he's on a way better show now. You guys should check out Umbrella Academy. It's actually really good. Although, Jorah, you could have warned her that he was a Tarly beforehand, you socially inept rube. So yeah, these two scenes I thought were head and shoulders above everything else in the episode. So we're gonna move on to the just okay section. The opening scene was pretty fine. I think using Robert's theme was a little bit too on the nose, and I also think that Arya watching people walk by one like they're floats in a parade was a little bit silly. But there was enough stuff to make it interesting, even if it was really lacking in subtlety. Now, I was gonna be generous and put this in my okay section, but what should come out of Tyrion as soon as he opens his mouth? Just when you're about to get lost in Season 1 nostalgia, you are slammed right back into modern Game of Thrones with the same old eunuch joke we have heard 500 f***ing times before. I started watching this episode and almost getting excited, and then I was like, oh yeah, right. Now, this is gonna surprise a lot of people, but Bran actually sneaked into my okay section this week. And I'm gonna tell you why. Yes, Bran still exists, which is a net negative for the world, but at least he has something to do now, and it might even be something that ties into an internal conflict for him. Or maybe he'll die from the pox he got from that sex worker. That would be nice. And finally, the bad. The Greyjoys have sadly been a big waste of time so far. It really doesn't make sense why Euron didn't just kill Yara, or why she just didn't escape the boat fight with Theon last year. If they wanted to make this Theon's big jailbreak quest, then fine, but he rescued her instantly with zero obstacles or confrontations, making her getting captured in the first place amount to absolutely nothing. I'm not even gonna make a joke here because I'm so serious about how pointless this was. Like Jorah getting grayscale levels of plot cul-de-sac. Also, Cersei and Euron are having sex now. Okay. I'm really glad that the best thing they can come up with for Cersei to do is spend entire scenes telling Euron that he's a 7 out of 10 lay, and then be really put out that she didn't get her elephants? What? She was really bummed about it, you guys. I like to think that Cersei is like hauled up in King's Landing watching Animal Planet with her face pressed up against the TV like a Dickensian orphan. Next up is a small one, but the Hound. I like how Gendry makes him this really nice axe, and then he turns around and calls him a cocksucker. I would have been like, well, alright, make your own axe then, douchebag. Then he calls Arya a cold little bitch. Like, he's just walking around insulting everybody like an edgy teenager on Reddit. Not only has his character not grown at all since Season 1, but he's actively regressed into a parody of himself. Like, I find it very hard to think that he's not going to make my top 10 list after this season is over of the worst adapted book characters. Hashtag not my Sandor. Okay, and here's where we get into the really bad stuff. I cannot stand Sansa being right about everything, and the narrative just continuing to dump on her for it. Asking how they're gonna feed their armies is a pretty important issue, and then instead of coming up with a constructive solution like a good leader who we're supposed to be rooting for should, Daenerys responds to this like an indignant 12-year-old, and then the scene cuts away like she just laid a sick burn on Sansa. Imagine if the writers had these two come together to like creatively work out a problem instead of making everything a lazy, forced conflict. Like, stop! Wouldn't that be interesting? Also, does Daenerys give a shit about literally anything? An undead army is coming, and her dragons aren't doing well in the north. Both problems she's frustratingly unconcerned with making useful contributions towards fixing. Like, she takes joyrides on her dragons just for fun, and then she just complains that no one's respecting her as a queen. Like, and the scene with the dragon riding was visually stunning, but it just seems like such a distraction from actually sprucing up these bland main characters. You're supposed to just like Daenerys because she has dragons and wears cool outfits. Like, that's it. Also, Jon just immediately knows how to ride a dragon. What a well-earned moment for his character. And then Drogon interrupts their makeout session, and I'm like, what is this, a sitcom? Like, even the effects team couldn't carry this into my okay section. The writers have absolutely no sense of direction when it comes to these two. Speaking of Jon, it made me really irrationally angry when he said to her, "I don't want the crown." And it's like, yeah, but you didn't not want it though, did you? Or you would have made the case for Sansa being queen in the north instead of just going on and pretending like you were a victim of circumstance. Final thoughts. Did I like this episode? No. But a lot of it, like Cersei's elephant thing and Bran just sitting in the courtyard all day and all night, did kind of like come back around into so bad it's good territory. If you're like me and you've all but lost faith in the show and are just kind of in it for the memes now, you're probably gonna be fine. As with all the episodes post season 4, the writers are just done. Like, they're writing this like they're halfway out the door. They could fix so much if they just planned everything out a little bit better, but I think what's really cracked down to the foundation is them just having no regard for the characters. Especially Dany and Jon. If they're fully into this idea that they should be the main characters, then they need to do something to make them more three-dimensional. Like, I don't care that they're Targaryens. Lineage isn't a reason to like a character. And yet, D&D keep trying to pass off divine right as a substitute for personality. It's such a sad, reductionist way to write a series. Like, the only thing that matters is whose ass is in the iron chair when the music stops. When you forget about the characters that you're on the journey with, you're just missing the forest for the trees. Anyways, the part that you've all been waiting for. Let's take a look at that bingo card. Sadly, we do have to say goodbye to Sam Space, but sets are underlit, check. Bran has absolutely gone full potato, 100%. Bitches be trippin', I want to give that an enormous check mark. Jon chose to endanger himself by riding a dragon just for fun. I would call that a stupid leadership decision. A eunuch joke literally opened the season. Brienne and Pod suddenly teleported back to Winterfell ahead of Jon and Daenerys. The last time we saw them, they were at the dragon pit with them. And the plot grinded to a halt for sex scenes several times. I want to check off reunions fall flat, but they were sort of a mixed bag, and I want to see how the Bran and Jaime reunion plays out before I decide to either check it off or kill it. Likewise for the Aegon and annulment boxes, but they are pretty much running out of time to be able to explain those. We'll see how that plays out, but we are making good pace after only one episode, so good job, team. If I've missed any or you think you can make an argument for any of these, let me know in the comments. Also, what did you guys think of the episode? What's working and not working for you? If you would like to pay money to hear more sarcastic noises come out of my mouth more often, please consider becoming a patron, and subscribe so you don't miss new videos. And then click the bell so you actually don't miss new videos. Thanks, YouTube. I will see you next week, friends. Also, in the behind-the-scenes interview, David Benioff referred to Dickon as Sam's older brother, and it's like, no. The whole reason Sam was sent to the wall was so that Dickon could inherit his titles. At least try to pretend that you still give a shit, D&D. Like, come on. I will see you next week, friends. I will see you next week, friends. I will see you next week, friends. I will see you next... I will see you next week, friends. You socially inept rue.